This morning I'm just having my coffee out in the garden here at Whirlwind Family Farm. Let me take a sip here and I'll put it down. Great place to have coffee. It's quiet, it's nice and cool this morning, and I always just enjoy that. But one of the things I was thinking about this morning as I came out is that one of the emphasis that we have done now for the past 4 years in this garden, and I have to say we were a little bit light on it last year, and we had some erosion because of it, and we didn't have enough cover crops. Now this year we have compensated for that, and we've made a special effort to have cover crops in place. And what I mean, if you've never, and a lot of you who garden may know exactly what I'm talking about, but a cover crop can have a couple of purposes actually. Some of the cover crops actually can be those vegetables which still can be harvested. I guess thus the name crop. But the main purpose of a cover crop is to keep soil in place, keep it healthy, and stop erosion. And that's really what a cover crop is all about. And as I walk through the garden, I'll point out a couple of things where we have come in and put cover crops. For example, this northwest corner of Whirlwind Family Farm is usually reserved, especially in the spring, where my wife comes in here and plants a lot of flowers. And this is actually, we put in mustard plant, mustard seed, about 2 or 3 days ago. And if you look close right there, you'll see a little bit of germination is already starting to happen. And those things will get up to 2, 3 foot tall. And they really are a great cover crop, and they're good for the soil, keep soil in place. And that's what you're trying to do. That's the whole point of this. So as I walk through, I'm walking through, these are kind of some late pumpkins right here. These are pie pumpkin, cinnamon girl variety, and they're really doing pretty well. I think we should have some pie pumpkins by October. As you can see, if you look close, they're already blooming. Right over here is a cover crop, right where we did not plant pumpkins. That is Sweet Alyssum. It is a great cover crop. My wife put a little bit in there, and it's already come up and doing pretty well here in mid-September. So let's just walk down and take a look at what we have been doing with cover crops. And the backside of this garden really is a more open area, and it's not, as we do have, this is our propagation tunnel. This is, we swap these out. Some years tomatoes are in here and cucumbers are over here, and then every other year we swap it out. And we have our fall things. I'll just take a quick peek in here. There is chard, there's some cabbage being planted right there. A few more, there's actually a few little tomatoes being planted right there. There's some bell pepper, a few other peppers in there. So these tunnels get utilized in the fall and winter as well, because that's when we go in with things that just do better in the cold weather. Here in the center part, we have a lot of pepper plants, and they're going to remain there. Even after they're going to be harvested, we're going to try to leave those there, just as they will keep soil in place. And again, back to what we're talking about, a cover crop, that's why they're so important. So now let's go down and look here at the back and give you a better understanding. Right here is some squash plants that we've put in, and they will eventually get froze down, but they're going to be in place and will act as a cover crop. And if you look right here, those are bush beans or green beans, and we may actually get a little bit of harvest off of them. But again, they will stay in place. I'll show you some bush beans over here. Show you, they were planted about a month ago. You can see them right there and how big they are. So once that gets frozen, let's say we get our first freeze about November 1st here in Zone 8, which is much later, I know, than probably most of you watching this if you live in the northern part of the United States. That'll get frozen down, and it will become like a thatch and really be a good cover crop. So let's walk over to this part again, back to, and by the way, that's butternut squash. I don't think I said that earlier. There are bush beans, which they actually germinated last week. If you look close, had a little bit of, I have another video where I talk about this. All those rows right there where you see the green, those are turnips. And had a little bit of problem. I don't know if it was my direct seeder dropping seeds in, or we didn't get watered. So you can see there are places where they didn't all germinate. But for the most part, they did. And there's a crop that's going to be harvested. We harvested those all the way into spring, all the way through winter last year because turnips like cold weather. I've had them where there's ice setting on top of them and we're still able to harvest. So they're serving two purposes. They are an actual crop and they are a cover crop because they will really get big. I'll try to show you that here on the screen. Right next to it is snow peas. For whatever reason, again, my furrow, I'm starting to see some pop up, but right in there was planted snow peas. So I don't know if all those are going to come up. They make really good for the soil, and I think they are a nitrogen producer. Don't quote me on that, but they're great for a cover crop. And then I'm going to show you something that is starting to germinate really well. If you look close right there, you can see all those little green plants that are starting to pop up all the way down through there is Sweet Alyssum. It's right next to these blackberries. So every row we have out here has something growing in it. And to boil that down, and I'm not a biologist, I took a lot of biology in college to get my animal science and agriculture degree, but I'm certainly not an expert on biology. But to make it as simple as possible is that in my mind, I always thought when we put down compost is that we're feeding, that compost is breaking down micronutrients and I got a little bit of sun here. I don't want to get that sun in the camera's eye, your eye. So we'll walk back this way. Is that when I put down compost, I was feeding the plant directly. Always was my thought. But the truth of the matter is we're feeding microorganisms which are always hopefully in the soil, breaking down nutrients, which then are allowed to have an uptake through the roots to the plant. So by having a cover crop or having something growing on that soil year round, is you're keeping them covered, you're keeping them healthy, and they have a better uptake of nutrients because there's more nutrients there. That's why the no-till system has become so popular, or minimal tillage. Uh, for years and years and years in this country, we till, we have a rotiller, we plow things under. I'll tell you myself, nothing looks better than after you've plowed something. It looks great, but the health of the soil just starts to deteriorate because the best way to explain it is you're taking the top 4, 5, even 6 inches of soil, depending on the plow type, you're flipping it over. And then as soon as you flip soil over, what happens is it's exposed to the sun, it starts to dry, and microorganisms cannot live in a dry, dusty soil. They just don't. They don't make it. So it just makes sense if you're minimal tillage or no-till, you're keeping that soil undisturbed. The microorganisms can thrive, which makes for a soil that's easier for compost or for all of that organic material to break down, which then becomes food to the plants. I don't think a biologist would have described it exactly that way, but I think you got the point of what minimal tillage. And then back to why we keep a cover crop for that very reason. Oh, by the way, this was just planted 2 days ago, more bush beans. If you look close, you can see a little bit, they're trying to push out there. If we get down close, I think we can see it. They're actually starting to push through the soil, so we're getting germination. So simply put, that's what a cover crop, or you could say ground cover, that's what a cover crop is. And I've heard this said by other gardeners who are even far more experienced than me. They don't even mind a few weeds in certain places because at least something is growing. Bare ground is not productive. Now we have walking paths out here that are bare ground because they're just that, they're walking paths. And we try not to have weeds in there that are competing with these crops. So the bottom line, if you are just a part-time gardener, you have a small backyard garden or little garden someplace on your property, it's a simple, easy thing to do. You don't have to go and buy a whole lot of cover crop like we do. The expense of that, you can get some Sweet Alyssum, you can get your turnips, you could come in with bush beans, whatever it is that you look. And I always say the great thing about having a smartphone in today's world is you can Google something quickly and say, what's good cover crops in zone, whatever zone you live in, and you'll get a good answer of several different things you can plant as a cover crop through these winter months. And so you can do that. You can buy those seeds, and if it's a small 20 by 20, 30 by 30 garden, that's not hard to do, not going to take many seeds, and it's not going to take you over an hour to plant them. Just planting them by hand. These Sweet Alyssum, they literally can be planted. Those seeds can just be set right on the surface, and that's what I do. I just drop them on the surface of kind of wet soil, pat them in so they actually are, the instructions are not to be covered by soil, and Sweet Alyssum will germinate in a couple of days. So that's it. That's really what a cover crop is keeping soil protected. And a few of those cover crops can be something that can even be harvested. And just like bush beans, if they last before that first freeze, you may be harvesting off of them. And then once the freeze happens, you've got a good thatch, a dead thatch that also is covering that soil and keeping it protected. Thanks so much for finding our channel. It means a lot to Whirlwind Family Farm, and it helps Whirlwind Family Farm when you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. In the comments section, tell us more about what your experience is with cover crops and what you do. We'd like to know. It helps everybody that watches this channel. We can see those comments. Thanks again. Blessings over you, your family, and your garden. Talk to you soon from Whirlwind Family Farm.